San Francisco's prosperity is legendary. Even its Chinese name, Zhoujinshan, means Old Gold Mountain. You can leave your heart here, but you better bring your wallet to Beijing, where the business arena is just as competitive as the Olympic Stadium. In this episode, these mascots are not only must-have Olympic items, they help pay for the Beijing Games. And even the most entrenched government agencies get a touch of Olympic fever. And if it leads to a small profit, where's the bad? Then how a printing company went all out and won a publishing gig for the 2008 Games. And how two international companies, Lenovo and Atos Origin, are seizing an Olympic-sized opportunity to improve their balance sheets. Finally, Olympic-driven tourist demand is challenging China's travel industry like nothing it's faced before. All coming up on Beijing Are You Ready? Hosting a 16-day event as big as the Olympics isn't cheap. There are venues to build, athletes to house, and an entire city to renovate. So it makes sense that licensing Olympic logos and mascots can raise a little money for the Games. While the main funding for the Olympic Games comes from sponsorships, the take from merchandising isn't exactly chump change.
Considering the previous Games and the actual situation in China, we are thinking of collecting somewhere like $50 million US.
That may not seem like much compared to the estimated $1.3 billion it's costing to put on the Olympics, but the idea is to get the message out about the Games and make some money doing it.
It's a kind of opportunities for us to communicate to the public, see what the Olympic Games is, what are the logo, mascot, for people to easily get touch, with the Olympics. Because sometimes when you're talking about construction, it's always, it's not our business, it's part of the government. What can we do? What can we individually do for the Games? Buying the products so they can contribute.
Here's how it works. Every time you buy an Olympic product, you're helping put on the Games. A percentage of the price goes toward the Olympics, but retailers also profit from the sale of licensed goods.
From 5% to 15%. It may vary, from product to product, but each product we have to collect a royalty, which means the consumers, any consumer who buy the products, they are contributing to the Olympic Games.
It's estimated that by the time the Olympics begin, up to 7,000 different licensed products will be on sale at more than 10,000 outlets across China. The official logo of the Games is central to the marketing and sale of Olympic goods, and there was a fierce competition to create it.
And we sent out invitation to all countries in the world, and altogether we received about 1,985 entries. And later on we actually selected 10 of them, top 10 of them. And then we decided that the seal, the Chinese seal, I think is the best designing. This emblem, stands for a running figure,
yes,
waving its hand to embrace victory.
Oh.
And it stands for a hospitable and vigorous Beijing opening her arms to welcome the rest of the world. And also, the seal actually was also a cultural symbol of China.
The Beijing Olympic Committee has licensed more than 20 categories of merchandise. To get a coveted license to design, make, or sell merchandise for the Games, both the manufacturers and their products have to meet strict commercial standards. International retail licenses are also being granted, so Olympic fans in the United States can buy souvenirs at home.
Mascot is one of the most popular products people have been enjoying. Pins also very popular. Sports apparel, which display the atmosphere, the sports oriented. So I think these are the three I should say people have been enjoying so much.
China doesn't do anything small, so why stop at 1 or 2 mascots when you can have 5?
Beijing Olympic mascots consist of 5 figures. They represent Bei Bei the fish, Jing Jing the giant panda, Huan Huan the Olympic flame, and Ying Ying the Tibetan antelope, and also Nini the swallow. And I think those 5 mascots will serve as little ambassadors for the Beijing Olympic Games.
The mascots were carefully named to deliver a message.
When you put the names of the mascots all together, they read Beijing Huan Ni. In English, it means welcome to Beijing.
Given its reputation as a knockoff haven, China is now faced with the problem of fake merchandise in its own backyard. These official Olympic t-shirts are a lot more expensive than the souvenir t-shirts you'd find for, say, the Great Wall. That encourages people to look for knockoff Olympic products. But there are higher penalties for selling fake Olympic items than imitation Chanel or Prada. You'll be charged with stealing and put in jail if you peddle counterfeit goods with the Olympic logo.
But we do, try very hard to crack down all those, counterfeiting for the fake stuffs. Because sometimes you can find the fake mascot along the street, but we try to work with the local government to crack down all those illegal activities. And from our side, we try to do a kind of counterfeiting. We have a tag, which is a hologram with the price. Okay, people can easily identify it is authentic products. So go to the authentic licensed stores, try to get the authentic products.
Official Olympic goods have a special label with a barcode and a toll-free phone number, so consumers can easily check their authenticity by tracing them back to a licensed store. And once the games are over, these souvenirs will not only remind people of China and the Summer Olympics, but of their contribution to the games. Even the most entrenched government agencies get a touch of Olympic fever, and if it leads to a small profit, where's the bad? Like her American counterpart, the Chinese Postal Service, China Post, can't pass up a chance to issue a commemorative stamp, and the 2008 Games are no exception. A beautiful book that includes the moving friendlies. These are the friendlies for the games. Now, if you look here, these are the stamps that have been issued so far with the pictograms of the sports themselves. But look at this. Can you see with the hologram that the friendlies are moving? Kind of neat, isn't it? They go into action. Each friendly has its own characteristic. And once again, you get another set of each of the 4 stamps that are available. This is a compilation of almost all the stamps. And it starts out with the representation of Beijing. This is the Chinese knot. You'll see it often in things that represent China. It especially means good luck when it comes to money. This is the official Olympic seal, and Summer just told me it's also a symbol of dancing Beijing. This is a traditional Chinese symbol that you'll find often on a stamp, and I don't mean a postage stamp, I mean a mark, or the calligraphy that you'll find on an artist's mark, often called a chop. These are the friendlies, and they are going to be so popular throughout the world.
This is like a painting.
Oh, it's like a painting.
Yes. All the stamps.
Oh, this has all the sports.
Yes.
Oh, that's
Here
very
is the
beautiful.
slogan.
When you get a picture framed in China, it comes on a scroll like this. So these stamps are framed. And this is another special edition release. The stamp itself are the red ones with the Olympic symbol on there, the official Olympic symbol. But in between you see all the different friendlies, and they're playing all the different sports. So this is really a nice piece. It's 380 yuan. I have to do the math here. It's about $50. This is about $50. But of course it's worth a lot more than the stamps, having been framed, and something so special, probably in limited release as well. But can Olympic enthusiasm light a fire under today's lackluster collectible stamp market?
我们预计呢，近期呢，做这个油品的话呢，奥运的这个油品，我们现在呢增加了这个制作了吧，大概在20多种，预计呢到2008年的时候呢，可能能达到30多种，现在在陆续的发行。我们现在呢就是有一些奥运的邮票已经增值，但是增值的幅度呢不一。
In the U.S., stamp collecting is a quaint hobby that's largely fallen off the public radar. It's a lot more popular in China.
我个人认为呢，在中国这块来讲呢，就是集邮这块呢是非常热门的，特别是2008年奥运会，这个产品的系列产品出来以后呢，对集邮爱好者呢是一个欢迎的一个产品，很一个时尚的产品，而且现在我们的销量非常好。
Today, China Post is offering a wide variety of Olympic products to stamp enthusiasts at home and abroad. The limited edition Beijing 2008 collector's sets number in the millions. If that doesn't sound very limited to you, remember, that has to satisfy stamp collecting enthusiasts worldwide.
在我们这个局呢，经常会有外国人来光顾我们这个局，买一些优品，比如说像明信片，刚才您记的这个明信片，就是经常是有。而且我这个营业员呢，基本英语都会。2008年奥运会的时候呢，我们这个包括邮票、明信片，还有一些邮件，我们呢会增加我们的营业额，而且呢增加的幅度呢应该在50%左右。
It's impossible to say whether this array of attractive, colorful stamps will lure Olympic fans into the post office during the Games. But it's clear that China Post is hoping that a quick trip to mail some postcards will turn into a souvenir hunter's delight. It's often said that you have to spend money to make money, even when a cash cow like the Olympics comes to town. SNP Li Feng is a textbook example of what happens when hope and investment collide. Since 1993, this successful printing factory has been handling 3/4 of China's periodical market and 90% of her high-end magazines. So why would an already booming business go all out to win a publishing gig for the 2008 Games? For Li Feng's management, that answer is easy. Being the sole color printer for the Olympic Committee is more than just a lucrative contract, it's an honor. Plus, this is a great opportunity to plow cash back into the company. Since Olympic jobs require speed and high quality, they'll need more equipment, more room, and double the employees, 500 more. That's why Li Feng's spending $25 million on a new factory at a bigger location. Sure, the business will be busy until the Games, but what then? What will happen to all those new jobs? Li Feng's counting on post-Olympic recognition to boost their business to the next level. Even if they can't talk about their big client now, they'll be free to shout it from the rooftops later and attract more business. It's an expensive gamble, but one that this company hopes will pay off. If you're a small business owner in the Olympic host city, say the owner of a cafe, the Games are a great opportunity to make extra bucks. But let's say you're already a major domestic player. For you, the Olympics are a chance to run with the international big dogs, if you can afford it.
所有的电脑设备都是由我们来提供的。那么在北京奥运会上，我们会提供估计超过1万台甚至2万台的电脑。
Lenovo is Asia's best-selling PC manufacturer. The company became an Olympic partner in 2005 by committing to support the Games at the highest level. That means paying $60 million US and providing computers, servers, internet lounges, and technology infrastructure for other partners and sponsors. More than 40% of Olympic marketing revenue comes from sponsors like Lenovo.
Without sponsors, no Olympic Games. The revenue from sponsors can well cover the budget, the expenditure of the Olympic Games in Beijing. That's no problem.
Lenovo had its first taste of sponsorship at the 2006 Torino Games. And is it true that Lenovo is the very first Chinese business to ever join the Olympic Partner Program?
很多人都是这样说，而且也确实是这样。联想过去呢，我们是一家在中国成长起来的企业，但是我们现在已经变成了一家真正的国际性的企业。我们在全球66个国家有这个我们的分支机构。
What ways will Lenovo be involved in the Games? It's more than money, right?
像你所说的，当然我们的参与不仅仅是钱，更重要的就是我们的技术能够为奥运会的这种这个稳定，而且是安全，而且是这样的一个成功的运行起到非常好的作用。
What kind of computer equipment and technology will Lenovo be providing to the Games?
首先，我们包括了desktop， 也就是台式电脑，还有笔记本电脑，还有就是服务器，还有就是打印机等等的产品。
In return for these goods and services, the high-tech giant gets to use the Olympic mascots and logos in its own marketing, and first dibs on buying commercials during the Olympics. And that adds up to international exposure. Do you see your participation in the games as a risk at all?
我们认为这当然更是让我们感觉更是一个机会。
Olympic sponsorship means Lenovo also has the opportunity to team up with powerhouses like Coca-Cola, one of the world's most recognized brands. And speaking of Coca-Cola, this is their Olympic billboard. This says, "It's up to you to feel good." This is Liu Xiang, China's first ever Olympic athlete to win gold in track. I'll bet he's raking in the endorsement dollars. And these are the Chinese characters for Coca-Cola. This Coca-Cola laptop might be the first peek at a Coke-Lenovo Olympic partnership. Could an even smaller model called a Diet Coke laptop be far behind? Okay, the marketing is probably best left to the experts, who say that if Lenovo's Olympic sponsorship gamble pays off, they could reap the same reward Coke realized in the 1996 Atlanta Olympics, $200 million US. Ms. Lee says there may also be some in-house benefits.
这个机会呢是千载难逢的，这是第一次在中国举行奥运会，所以在这样一个机会能够参与到奥运会的这个项目当中来，为奥运会来做出更多的贡献，这是我们的责任，而且也是我们的机会。
Lenovo's a household name in China, but not in the rest of the world. Come August of 2008, that's likely to change. Atos Origin is an Olympic partner that will be working alongside Lenovo. The French-based company is in charge of information technology in Beijing, and it's hoping that the Olympics will be its passport to new business in Asia. The company has provided software and services for the Olympics since the Barcelona Games in 1992. It became an Olympic sponsor at the Salt Lake City Games in 2002, and its contract with the International Olympic Committee lasts until the London Games in 2012. Jeremy Hore is Atos Origin's chief integrator for the Olympic Games. He's Australian and part of a truly international team from about 40 different countries.
I'm Jack Chan. I'm from Malaysia.
My name is Vladan Todorovic and I'm from Serbia.
My name is Hu Suling. I'm from Beijing.
My name is Lidia Costa. I'm from Spain.
By the time the Beijing Olympics gets underway, Atos Origin will have some 5,000 people working on the project. But first, they'll help BOCOG, the Beijing Organizing Committee for the Olympic Games, prepare for 2008 with Games Management Systems, or GMS.
It includes things like accreditation, like staffing, like accommodation, like transportation, etc. So there's a series of applications that helps BOCOG to plan for the Olympic Games.
During the Games, Atos Origin will deliver real-time results with split-second precision to the media, along with background information about the athletes and the events.
And the information diffusion systems are really the critical systems which we use during the Olympic Games to take the results and diffuse or distribute them to the media, the press, the broadcasters, and basically to the world.
These Chinese IT specialists worked on the Athens Games to prepare for Beijing. There are 38 competition venues in 7 cities with more than 300 events. This testing lab plays a crucial role in preparing for the Games. In July and August 2007, the system was tested during an actual competition in each sport. That gave Atos Origin the feedback it needed to make sure all systems will be ready to run like clockwork during the Olympics. So this is the track and field testing area. You're testing the equipment that will be used to send scores about track and field, right?
Yeah, in the integration lab. We have a lot of different cells, and in each cell we test the software and the hardware for that sport. So this is what we call athletics or track and field. And inside this cell we have a lot of different systems, and we have people here testing. And they're testing sport by sport, and they're checking that the results are correct depending on what's fed into them.
There are thousands of devices, computers, servers, and lots of systems that could go wrong. But everything must be ready on August 8, 2008 and run flawlessly for the next 17 days. That takes thousands of hours of testing.
All the Olympic project is all about risk management. And what we do, we know the things will be failing, people will fail, technology will fail, but we are here to test and prepare for any problem, any issue. And this is why we prepare 4 years in advance. So during all this time, we think about anything that can go wrong and what we can do to prevent it, even things that are beyond our control. And when we are ready, normally during the games, we sleep very well at night because we are prepared and ready for the games. We don't have time to think during the operations. We have to think before, prepare and test.
Atos Origin is one of 12 worldwide Olympic sponsors that have invested a total of $866 million in the Beijing Olympics. Atos Origin is hoping its performance at the Beijing Olympics will help to improve its balance sheet by tapping into the Chinese market.
The way we leverage the Olympics is that we showcase what we do for the Games with our other clients to demonstrate that we can manage a mission-critical project and deliver on time, including the fact it's very visible and that it's been followed all over the world by 4 billion people.
In Athens, Atos Origin dealt with more than 4 million computer problems without any visible impact on the Games. It's hoping for a repeat performance in Beijing.
We do the technology part. So on the technology, something that if everything goes perfect, we go totally unnoticed. We don't want people to talk about us. That means the games are perfect. So for us, perfect means 0 events that would impact the games, the athletes, the media, all the people we need to serve. So we're aiming at 0 impact, which doesn't mean 0 problem. There will be problems, there will be risks, there will be issues. But our objective is that everything goes smoothly, and whenever something fails, we already have a plan B or plan C or plan D to make sure the competition can continue, the media can do their work, the Olympic Committee can do their work, and nothing is really noticed on the board. So.
And once the Beijing Games are over, many of these computer gypsies will follow the Games halfway around the world. Not to see Olympic gold, but for the golden business opportunities at the 2010 Winter Games in Vancouver, Canada. China was off limits to foreigners for nearly 3 decades after communists took over the country in 1949. The idea of an international tourism industry was unheard of, and nobody in China was making money from international travel. But today, with the 2008 Olympics set to begin in Beijing, the story couldn't be more different. The birth of the Chinese international tourism industry began after Deng Xiaoping launched an open-door policy toward foreign investment. Foreign tourism soon followed. Today, the industry is an economic powerhouse. It brings in more than $18 billion annually. Over 20 million foreign travelers visit China every year, with 4 million of them visiting Beijing alone. Now, Chinese businesses, both big and small, are making big bucks from international travel. Few businesses demonstrate the tourism industry's success more than China Travel Service, or CTS. CTS began in 1949 as a travel agency for Chinese people traveling within the closed borders of China. Today, CTS is China's largest travel agency. And business is so good that CTS owns this giant Beijing hotel and headquarters its operation here, with offices throughout China and the world. Someone at home asked me, can anyone walk out on the streets? Are you restricted? Do tourists have to follow certain rules here in China?
我认为这个是没有任何问题的。那么他们来中国以后在城市是非常的安全的无论是白天还是黑夜。 那么他都可以自由在大街上行走。
Tourists may also have the misconception that vacationing in China is expensive.
在现在这个时候来中国是非常的合算因为我们无论是在这个住宿设施还是接待设施还是门票这些方面价格呢和周边的国家比，特别是和日本这些地方比，那么我们是要比他们要便宜多比欧洲也要便宜多所以呢，目前。 美国游客到中国来，比去欧洲、去日本、去其他地方，那都要从成本这个角度来说，都要合算。
Other misconceptions include not being able to get around or interact with local people because most tourists don't know Chinese. But in major cities, street signs, subways, and many businesses have both Chinese and English signs. And the coming Olympics are encouraging more Beijingers to learn English.
Welcome to Beijing.
Both to be hospitable hosts and to make a few bucks on the games. But Olympic-driven tourist demand is challenging the industry unlike anything they've ever faced.
我们目前来说，主要是资源不足，比如说人员的不足，那导游人员的不足。第二个呢是车辆的不足，第三是可能是饭店的资源不足。
The tourism industry hopes to meet the Olympic challenge and cash in on the games. But industry insiders believe the real windfall will come after the Olympics. Why? It's simple. The whole world will be watching the Olympics on television. And the tourism industry believes the images people will see of an accessible, friendly, and affordable China with ancient historical sites will entice them to visit. In other words, the Olympics will serve as the biggest, best, and longest television commercial the Chinese tourism industry could ever hope for. And that will keep the money rolling in long after the Olympics are over. That's it for this episode. Here's a look at what's coming up on the next Beijing Are You Ready? On the next episode, see how Beijing is preparing for the additional 1.5 million mouths it has to feed during the 2008 Olympics, and how the city hopes to make a food festival out of the Olympic Games. Then, these restaurants are cooking up Chinese cuisine that may surprise you. Find specialties that speak to your taste buds just in time for a trip to the Olympics. That and more coming your way on the next Beijing Are You Ready? From Beijing's Olympic Park, I'm Mary Windishar. We'll see you next time.
哪里都是尽情自由的回答，荣誉梦想。在这里全部实现。One world nation come together. One dream, free man to fly higher. One world, one dream all about time.